welcome back to FACEIT TV and the final map of ECS. Now, normally when it comes down to leagues, the final map means nothing. That's normally what happens. Like, you can look across many, many leagues. The final map, it normally doesn't mean very much. In this, it is the difference between NiP going to the LAN finals, Mousesports being relegated, versus Pro being relegated, Dignitas going to the LAN finals. There are multiple different avenues of which this can turn out, and it all depends on one map.
Yeah, and that is going to be NiP versus Mouse on Dust, which is coming up any minute now. To give you guys the rundown, though, if NiP win, they'll be going through to the LAN finals in Anaheim, joining the rest of the teams that have already qualified. If Mouse win, they don't get relegated. VP instead will be filling their boots.
Obviously, Fnatic are already relegated, so yeah, that'll be the other team.
I believe that that means Dignitas will be joining the teams over at the LAN finals. If that is the case, we'll be having 12 Danes taking place at the finals, which is a fun fact. But yeah, there is a lot riding on this event, and this match. That, like you say, normally don't mean very much, but this one is arguably the most pivotal game thus far, as it will decide our fourth contender for the LAN finals in Anaheim later this year. And well, not much later either at that. So 10th and 11th of December. But yeah, behind me seeing this kick right off here. NiP starting on the T side of Dust. We're going to be seeing some mid-aggression coming out from Mousesports. I know they must all be feeling the pressure right now.
Yeah, of course. Anybody who does get relegated, I just want to state they do actually obviously get the chance to fight up against the people from the development league. So it's not all doom and gloom. They're not straight out. We're not just getting rid of them, say like in football where you just go down to the Premier. But either way, it is going to be NiKo starting things off. He gets that headshot, takes a dink in return, so a lot of damage being done. Denis will be looking to try and do some more, but the same can be said for him. He's lost his head, and the dunk will come in as two trades go either way, and a 3v3 continues.
Bomb should be going down any second now, but chrisJ trying to play in from Gandalf could be the player to make the difference. Sadly, can't deny the plant, can't even find a frag, and now loWel and Spiidi going on a very lengthy rotate here. Does mean that time's just whittling away from them. They have got that kit and an Incendiary on Spiidi to play around with, but I mean, really, they have to also be prepared. Get right playing over towards Car. He's going to be eliminated. No problem. Is it loWel? He's lighting them up, knocking them down. It's all going to fall in a forest in the blink of an eye. He's got to hold down the site, and he can't. chrisJ just going to be sending around straight through his skull. Very efficient way of dispatching of your opponents. It's going to be the defuse coming in from Mouse as they hand it over to loWel on the kit. And they pick up that first pistol, despite rather overwhelming odds being stacked against them.
Yeah, no, the start that they needed, they'll get that decent CT side pistol. NiKo with a nice little pick at the beginning, but eventually it came down to this man once again, and really has made a good impact on this team. Definitely looking forward to what they have to offer in the future. But for now, they're just trying to survive. That is all they really want to achieve. Dignitas fans, you've got to be cheering for Mouse as well. You want them to get through to that LAN, and of course tickets are still available, especially if you're a student where they're free. But either way, we are going to look back towards these pistols on the NiP side. They do get themselves the bomb plant, so expecting rifles to come up in the next round. Of course, if they can get a second bomb plant, then maybe an AWP could even come into play. And well, with the short push, a lot of the time you can see that bomb come down. Now, NiKo is going to be challenged that relatively aggressively, trying to make sure there's no way. And he's so close through the smoke to catching off a couple of players. And in fact, because of that, they abandon the run boost and swarm on. But Denis is there to support him and keep him alive.
Both of these players tagged down low. Garcia going to be going for the peek, and oh, it doesn't matter. NiKo dispatches of him relatively easily, dropping them out there. Lots of money farmed up for the side of Mouse. No plant coming into effect, like you say, but they do still have enough money to buy up regardless. Forest, interestingly enough, going to be opting for the scout to try and compete with the likes of chrisJ, who of course is going to be on a weapon of a similar nature. We can see Forest trying to watch out in towards mid, seeing if anyone wants to go for any aggression, and they're not going to be giving it to him. chrisJ actually at that peeks out in towards mid. Now he's kind of trapped, and it's very easy pickings there for Forest to pick that one up. NiKo tries pushing short, and well, he's going to be ducking down, wants to try and escape with his life, but oh, it's very tricky. There's lots of Swedes trying to take him out, and he's actually going to convert that into a frag somehow. So he takes a very dangerous situation and turns it into a great one.
I had no idea how he won that duel, but just like the first kill, the second will be going into the hands of Forest. Friberg waiting, avoids the flash, and catches Spiidi as he goes to peek. This leaves it down to a 4 versus 2. Make that a 4v3 as loWel once again will step up to bring this round at least into contention.
NiP had a very good start though, and They do find themselves with a man advantage. Denis on this MP9, best gun in the game. He's over here towards the B site, doing great damage. Going to find one, does good damage out on a Friberg as well, but can't quite get the frag. Friberg on 2, it's all on loWel now, 1 versus 2, and well, Bomb's going to be making its way onto this site. But Friberg's very low HP, spots him out, that's Bomb drop. GetRight goes for the spray, and loWel's going to get it. He shouldn't have been allowed to do that. He completes the hat trick and saves that round for Mouse. It's going to be 3-0 without a bomb plant in sight. NiP, they're going to be back onto those pistols.
This guy is literally dragging them through rounds in this first couple. He's got himself 8-0 at this point. Everybody else has fallen on multiple occasions. chrisJ, however, will be able to get his AWP in hands, which is definitely where he becomes a much more deadly player in the server. Pistols, as you said, will all the Swedes get. And they're going to try and at least maybe get a bomb plant. Of course, with the extra money, they should be able to get another buy on the board anyway. 2,900 coming in for the loss. They get a little bit more if they win, but I wouldn't be gambling on that anytime soon.
NiP over towards mid. And they do grab control of it early on, but they have to deal with NiKo, who's pushed up short. And just him being here, he's been playing this position time and time again, and it's been working brilliantly. They can't make use of this entire avenue of attack onto the A site, and you can tell they really want to. They keep stacking up at it. GetRight thinks he can be sneaky, and he might just work. He walks past NiKo, and what was that? They get lost in the smoke, touching the tips of their barrels, but now it's chrisJ to hold down the A site, just whiffing shots for days, has to fall on back. And it's there to take him out. We'll be able to scavenge that up and use it to maximum effect. It's going to be on the hands of Xizt. loWel at long must be pretty traumatized at the fate of his teammates there, just crumbling on the A site, and suddenly the whole defense just topples around them. NiP, they create a round from nothing.
Did they even get hit? Because literally they invested just pistols. No armor, no nothing. They had a few pistols. They end up all surviving, and I am slightly in shock and don't really know what to say at this point, and that's sort of my job. Either way, it is going to be a round on the board for NiP, going to look to continue into this next round with all the weapons that they've just retrieved. Of course, the 3 rifles, plus a nice little AWP into the hands of Forest, and while the economy game has just switched firmly into the hands of the T side, and well, bye-bye chrisJ. Another pick comes in from Forest.
That early man advantage going to be utilized. As you can see, NiP already trying to grab control of mid. Back of this play, and once again making full use of short. NiKo can't line up that shot, has to fall on back. Doesn't completely relinquish short control though, still playing it rather aggressively. NiP, they say, you know what, NiKo, you can have short. We're going to be trying to take mid. Smoke goes down to cover the approach, and we can see right now they're funneling out. You can see the bomb shifting up towards upper tunnel, so mid to be definitely on the cards here. Spiidi rejoining his teammates, and NiKo getting up on top of the boxes to be boosted. It's all going to be on Denis to hold the close angle, and well, him and Spiidi, they combine, find 2 frags between them. Spiidi manages to get a second, and this push from NiP is being completely cut down like lambs to the slaughter. It's all going to be on Xizt now. 1 versus 4, UMP in hand, and well, it's not looking good.
Yeah, whoever has the worst buy seems to be winning at this case in time. It is NiP to lose. However, the one huge advantage of finding yourself a load of weaponry on the floor, and the fact that you only have to buy armor, is the fact that you do get yourself another buy almost indefinitely going into the next round. So that's an advantage. Nice round coming out from Spiidi with the AWP. Unfortunately, he'll have to give that back over to chrisJ, who so far hasn't hit a shot.
Once again, NiP are trying to take all this mid control. 4 players here. They're really emphasizing it. Like you say, chrisJ taking that AWP, and he still has yet to make anything productive happen on the back of it. Smoke goes down to cover the push. Denis suddenly regretting this position, but he's going to get 1 frag. No one there to trade it out. And then Spiidi pushes through the smoke, able to get 1 in return, but that's going to be it. chrisJ having to rotate on through from B, goes aggressively up to the window, going to find 1 on the back of the no-scope, turns around. Oh, chrisJ! That's something only he could do. We were just saying how he hasn't landed anything. And well, there we go.
Stop scoping, I guess. Just doesn't need the scope. Just go for those no scopes. He will get 1 over towards the pick initially as well. And, well, this was just lovely. Able to turn around and hit it on to GetRight, taking him down, getting 3 kills and stepping up with that AWP. 5-1 up. Mousesports looking strong so far. And, well, now we look back towards those pistols once again. And NiP really are starting to have some problems. That 1 round that they gained actually turns out to be a bit of a detriment, because now they're back to pistols and have to wait to buy in the next.
Oh, GetRight able to find 1 under loWel. They want to try and get away from B because they have got that restraining order after last time they got caught there with their Glocks out. And well, it's actually Denis in mid putting the hurt down. He finds pyth. He also gets get right, ripping heads off. Oh my god, Friberg just offering another frag up to minute. Spiidi on the flank. They didn't take note of the warnings they had last. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, you're whipping it. Xizt, how do you whip a knife? He still gets it eventually. But there we go. It is going to be a knife frag. Spiidi doesn't check that corner. And an M4 can be saved up here for NiP. It's going to go 6-1 though. Mousesports, they take a very good lead early on.
Yeah, it's looking like the polar opposite to what we saw in the previous map. Of course, a very good start coming out from NiP on the T side. And well, so far on this T side, we really haven't seen too much from them. The only round that they've actually managed to win was one with pistols. And, well, Denis is actually on for a NiKo ace. Not going to get it this time as NiKo will convert the final kill. And now we look towards this 8th round.
There we go.
Oh, no.
NiKo, sorry, Xizt, the kind of guy who misses the butter when he tries to spread it in the morning. Just smothers his own wrists and then continues on with the day. He's, you know, a true Swede through and through. It's going to be 6-1, a 5-round advantage currently for Mousesports.
Is that a Swedish thing?
No, it's not. It really isn't. It's an Xizt thing. And, well, here we go anyway. I don't imagine he's the kind of guy who has butter on his toast in the mornings anyway. I doubt he's even as toast. But yeah, we are going to be seeing, for the time being, Xizt just waiting, biding his time out towards B again, potentially trying to pick up another knife frag, who knows. And it's actually NiKo playing up aggressively on short, as you would expect. Holding this angle once again with the AWP. It didn't work out too well last time. He's going to miss that shot this time as well. Short control, handed over to NiP, and they're going to be trying to make full use of that as they push out long.
Yeah, the only problem is in the meantime, they've lost the man advantage. Xizt will fall to the AWP of chrisJ, who has started to wake up a little bit. It's no longer the low show, and I think that's much more important for the Mousesports side. Of course, chrisJ does too. They normally go pretty well together, but that's just AWPers in general as we see Forest able to trade one back, keeping the man advantage over on that CT side, however. And now we look at Denis. He's going to go peeking. The flash will blind a couple. He's going to go for this aggressive push, lines them up, gets one, goes for the re-peek. Friberg will be able to trade, and actually Forest finding another in the meantime. Now NiKo has to be careful as long push will be coming in. The smoke just holding him off. Will he actually push through? And there goes Forest, pouncing. Perfect timing. And now this leaves it down to one man. chrisJ on the AWP versus 2.
He has had a fairly hard time lately. Not really connecting the shots we would have liked with the AWP. Seeing a little bit of resurgence now in these last couple of rounds. And now Molotov going to force Friberg off. Does tag him down low. chrisJ using his food-like movement skills to push down in towards CT. Picks up Forest. Now it's a one-on-one. Friberg's tagged down low. Goes for the jump in P250 shot. Not going to land it. And there's Friberg to clutch it out. 1 versus 1. And he gets the second round for NiP and the AWP.
Yeah, and interestingly, Mousesports' economy isn't anything to really idle at the moment. They have very sketchy economy across the board. A couple of players with a little bit of extra cash, and maybe that'll mean a buy comes in. Well, it will. Double AWP. They're going to rely on these AWPers to start things off, and chrisJ, he wins the duel versus Forest. Important initial frag. Get right is going to look to try and retrieve that AWP. A little bit risky trying to go for the cross, but not. Ooh, he's actually going for the aggression, and there's the trade. chrisJ is punished, but it's not too much of a detriment for them. A trade, all that really means is one of the pistols now turns into an AWP, so maybe that won't be the worst case scenario. It is 6-2, much more important round for NiP if they're going to get back into this game. If they're to lose this, well, their economy may be the one taking the hit, but there goes pyth. Takes the first kill in the engagement, following on towards this B side, looking for a second and gets it as well. NiKo in the meantime able to trade one back, but now we look towards low and NiKo. Nice little bit of bunny hopping, but can he convert the frag? Yes, he can.
NiKo, that's dirty. He's going to have to pick up a frag in towards mid. That's 2 for him currently. 2 more frags left to find, though, as pyth and Xizt running on towards the B site. Bombs going down. It's a tricky site to retake, even while the numbers are equal, but they've got plenty of utility to use. Opting not to use as much of it as you would have expected. They've still got a Molotov left and 2 smokes, but to their dismay, not going to use it. pyth goes aggressive as a result, able to get 1. loWel to trade it out, but Xizt there through the smoke. Drops him out the equation. 6-3 now secured for NiP, as they slowly but surely try to catch back up with Mouse.
Yeah, this is looking almost like the sort of a reversal of the scenario on Nuke, where they're getting into these very, very close situations, but just able to clutch them out. And, well, if they can start bringing these rounds back, maybe there's potential. Mousesports, they're actually going to go for this round. They've realized, okay, we got it down to just one person. We know NiP are going to be struggling a little bit. Maybe they'll skimp in this round, bring in an SMG or 2. Well, they have 1 on Get Right. but it's still a very risky scenario and could actually give NiP a chance to get back into the game much quicker than expected.
loWel and NiKo want to try tempting this aggression on short. It has worked for them previously. I mean, especially having these two players, you know, so close together. Two very, very, very strong players within the Mouse lineup. You know, playing this short angle. They complement each other very well. As the flashes come raining on in, it's looking like NiP are trying to tempt fate a little bit here. They push up towards short. And while NiKo and loWel, they're the two you'd want in this situation. They go aggressive and they catch NiP with their pants down. It's going to be NiKo and loWel. They find 3 frags between them as they shut down the short play. And suddenly this force buy looking like it's going to be working out for them here. chrisJ ripping the head clean off of GetRight. And it's all on pyth to end it. Spiidi able to find him through the smoke in mid. It's going to be the 7th round on the board for Mouse on the back of a very ballsy and a very rewarding short play.
Yeah, no, that had so much risk behind it, but at the same time, they knew that if they win that round, the economy of NiP would be absolutely screwed, and while NiKo doing NiKo things wins the round for them with the pistol, a little bit of help from chrisJ, and, well, a nice round overall. Either way, NiP, they like this style. They're going to go for the same sort of thing, buying up the pistols themselves. They don't want to give the economy game back over to the Mousesports side, and they have managed to win a round with, well, just P250 so far, so if anything, this is a luxury.
Here we go, they're pushing up. It's going to be a B split, but Denis, he's holding it down, as is Spiidi. They remain unfaulted, and suddenly it's all on Xizt. And, you know, we also showed you a little bit of loWel there just for fun on his journey through mid. Ultimately, though, they get completely shut down on that pushing towards the B site. Despite it being almost a textbook push, they had the smokes, they had the flashes, they made their way out, but ultimately they didn't have the firepower. And that B site does get locked down. As a result, it's going to go 8-3. NiP, they find themselves 5 rounds behind. And well, with no investment into this round, it's looking like Mouse should be able to pick up a 9th.
Yeah, looking over towards NiKo. Aggressive push-up. And, well, this time he's not waiting for those P250s to come to him. Or the Glocks, in fact. He's going to go aggressive, try and make himself some extra money. Denis has the same idea, and they're just cleaning things up at this moment in time, making things look easy. loWel will help out NiKo, who was reloading. And, well, now can Friberg at least get one? Hey, there you go. There's at least a little bit of light, but not really anything too crazy. Actually gets a second.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about if he gets 2?
Oh, can he make it 3? Can he round it off? Oh, it's loWel, never mind. Just been so dominant, didn't expect him to fall in the same sort of manner. Currently 13-5, NiKo 12-5, but this is looking like a much more well-rounded team from Mousesports. It really was just a couple of clutch players coming up on train. Every single player positive at the moment, and on the other side of things, there's no Forest Magic. There's a couple of rounds that we've seen pyth do some work, but it really is looking a little bit worrying, especially if NiP is still trying to get that qualification spot.
chrisJ on the side, got to hold it down with the AWP. Spiidi to back him up. These two just locking it down time and time again. chrisJ going to be on 2, looking for number 3. He's tagged down low, but he's still making it work. GetRight finally refrags, comes in with 2 of his own, and what a back and forth take this has been. Ultimately, it is in favor of Mouse, but this long rotate from loWel could come back to cause some serious issues here. No one's there to back up NiKo, who is just watching the cross for the time being. And while he's waiting for loWel to get into position, just biding his time in mid. GetRight does have that bomb. We'll be going for the plant, and you just got to edge forward a little bit, buddy. Come on, you've been playing this game for years. There we go. Okay, he does get it down, and well, now the retake coming on in. That's the thing. loWel's kind of lost the positional advantage of making his way on this lengthy rotate because he's waited so long. It's going to be obvious that one of them has to be coming from tunnels at least. The fact they've both chose to come in from the same angle, not going to bode too well here, but ultimately it is NiKo and loWel. These are the two you would want in this scenario. Oh. But then so is GetRight. He's done so much damage. GetRight to find 4. He's got to be happy with that. He keeps the Swedish dream alive. It's going to go 9-4 now, and they're 5 rounds behind, closing the gap.
Well, this is why GetRight has one of the most ridiculous 1v2 statistics in the whole of the game. He is just a man of the clutch. He was born for that very reason, and well, proving it once again, managing to take down both. They even go as a team to challenge GetRight, and it's still not enough. They get a 4th round on the board, and he goes huge, but it's still a lead for Mousesports, and they still have a buy coming in, and a better buy, in fact, than the Ninjas.
I just can't get my head around the double tunnel play, but I mean, you know, each to their own. Ultimately, it does cost Mouse a round, but they are comfortably ahead for the time being, so they can at least say that. chrisJ holding short this time. Poised and ready with the AWP. It's going to be flashed out of position and has to fall on back. NiKo to cover his retreat. is there. The issue is, NiP, they've made nice progress out towards long. chrisJ, you're very close.
No.
And now, there we go. Forrest able to find it. Get Right makes quick use of that pop flash as well. loWel gets caught off guard. The A site just crumbles there. Every major avenue of approach, NiP just locked down. They eliminate all the threats that Mouse can pose to them. They're going to be able to get the bomb plant, and the remaining 2 players will be falling back, looking to save the 2 M4s.
Yeah, and NiP getting ever closer to a 9-6, which definitely wouldn't be too bad an avenue for them to try and fight back from. It was looking a little bit sketchy, but that clutch coming out from Get Right may just be that little bit of extra wind in their sails that helps them to come back into this game. Either way, remaining 2 players are looking to save NiP. Well, they have other ideas. They're going to try and challenge this. It is Spiidi and Denis. They're looking at their best, and well, never mind. It is going to be Xizt to find the first, Forrest to finish off the next, and now we look to the final round with what will be another sketchy buy coming out from Mousesports. But it has to be said, they've made these work before.
That they have, but I mean, it has, you know, it does feel like NiP, they've started to kind of find their momentum. They found the pacing they need. Almost looking like they're in their element for the time being. No tag down mid on the back of pyth with this AWP. Can see chrisJ wants to try and challenge, but it's not going to be proving fruitful just yet. Denis in this smoke, very close to Friberg, and Friberg Spiidi senses it tingly. He goes spraying through the smoke. He actually tags him up, but he doesn't find the frag. Denis thinks he's been discovered, and he goes for the push. It pays off.
Oh, no.
He might get a second. He's done so much damage, but it's going to get taken down. 3 versus 4. loWel's going to fall over towards long, and it was looking so good for Mousesports from a strong start from Denis, but they're just being shut down all over the map. Full control going the way of NiP.
Yeah, and well, now we also have the push coming in onto long, which should be able to let them know that the site is clear. Chris almost manages one, but now it's all down to Spiidi, and that's just not going to happen. Forrest will close out the 9-6. Definitely not the best half for the NiP side, but considering they were, what, 6-1 down, definitely not too bad a finish.
Most definitely not. Yeah, it was 6-1 as we headed into you know, the 8th round there, and you know, they've had a nice comeback. And despite, you know, the tricky start, it does look like they've kind of found their footing a little bit. They're very momentum-based, NiP. It's something that, you know, they can dig deep and come back from these huge deficits. They just have to start chaining a couple of rounds together to spur on the resurgence, and that's what we're seeing here. Nades over towards long do damage chrisJ, but don't deter his aggression. Oh, saying that they do. chrisJ, thank you. And we're seeing NiKo, meanwhile, trying to take control of low tunnels, and he does so. pyth? That's a new way of saying it.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that one before.
pyth is going to be biting the dust there as the man advantage goes the way of Mouse.
Maybe it was pyth the whole time and just nobody noticed.
Maybe it was.
So I still don't know at this point. Either way, it is going to be that start for NiKo. Doesn't go with his trusty dig this time, but it's still working wonderfully. Looking for this second kill and will get it as well. Looking to try and get that pistol and get the start the Mousesports want to get their lead back, to get what they had earlier in the map back into their hands. Now they are looking like they're about to go for this push over towards short. There's a player waiting outside long. Will the position be checked? Eventually, but Get Right still goes down. This leaves it on Friberg. He's pretty much got to wipe out the whole team in this scenario, and it is not looking good at this point in time. He gets swarmed. Denis will finish him off, and now Forrest 1v5. Well, it's not happening.
I just love seeing Friberg's little mushroom cap rearing over the top of ramp as he slowly ascends to the heavens. And, well, sadly, that you know, the rapture was denied there by Mousesports as they shut him down. They pick up the pistol, and, I mean, you know, we can see they're only buying up, giving a lot of respect the way of NiP. You know, a lot of rifles in play, 2 SMGs in the Scout on chrisJ. NiP not opting to buy up any armor, just sticking
I sort of
with
imagine,
pistols.
like, you know, in Pokemon where there's the sort of exclamation mark because he's slowly moving up and then goes, uh-oh, as they all just swarm towards him. It was one of those positions where, well, we've seen it work their way before with the USP just tapping shots away, but it doesn't work this time. And, well, as you said, only pistols left. NiKo, well, just looking to start things off. Flashbang will come out. He does have the rifle, but he's just going to be able to hide. And, well, actually, they haven't been able to spot him out at all. The round just goes so quickly. Spiidi cleaning up 3 with that SMG, making a lot of money for his team. And now we edge towards a position where Mouse may be going into the first proper buy round with a 12-6 advantage.
Yeah, they're going to be in a very good light indeed, NiP in that round. I mean, they didn't really get what they wanted to accomplish, which was anything. It was a complete slaughter. And I mean, you know, a very weak start to their CT side. But they are a team that can be very resilient. They can fight back even, when they are being back down, as we saw in the first half. But still, I mean, it's a nice change of pace as well from Maz. We're seeing a lot more aggression coming out. All these early frags. And NiKo, that was tasty. Getting that frag. Denis meanwhile drops Forest in mid. That's going to help secure control of middle, and they're utilizing that brilliantly by grabbing both long and short to split onto A.
Yeah, they really just want to keep this one as clean as humanly possible. There is a flashbang on to get right, but that's all that has really been invested. And they're just going to wait towards his CT position. Spiidi doesn't really have anything to lose in this position. If he dies, he'll just force up. If not, maybe he'll go for a bit of a bonus round. And actually, the flashbang does help them out a little bit. He'll be able to get one, but that is it. And as said, Spiidi probably just be able to buy back into this with a rifle. Got so much money in the bank at the moment on that Mousesports side. And I wonder if they will go for a little bit of a bonus, or if chrisJ is just going to get rid of that scout, go for the AWP, and we'll see a full buy. It looks like they're just going to go for the bonus.
Yeah, and I mean, for those of you quickly who are just joining us, this is the last map of ECS before the finals, and this is probably the most important map today, as if NiP win, they will be going through to the finals. If Mouse wins, then we'll be seeing VP relegated and Dignitas go through, so there's a lot riding on this. Make sure you stick around, as we have still got much more left of this game. There's a lot of fights still in both Mouse and NiP, and it promises to be even closer. We can already see loWel has fallen, but not before they were able to pick up Forest and get right. The man advantage leading the way of Mouse here. We can see they're taking that bomb over towards B. Only Xizt playing this angle, and he's playing an angle that is checked quite commonly, and he doesn't really have anyone there to kind of alleviate the pressure. So if they do decide to go B, he's playing a spot where at most you'd really expect him to get 1 or 2 frags.
Yeah, this is an absolutely huge buy round as well for NiP, because if they lose this one, go back to Eco, we're looking at 14-6 in favor of Mousesports, so a very, very scary prospect. This is also a bonus round. They had a UMP in play along with a scout on chrisJ, which did actually get them the first pick either way. But we're ever looming closer to that 6 teams on 24 points, which not something I really expected to see, but it's looking like a possibility now. Smokes will come out. There's nobody on this side at the moment, but the jump down could actually help pyth get a kill. Finds the first, the flash actually gives them an opportunity now, and I wonder if they're actually going to go for this. Now, the rest of the team look pretty skeptical. I'm just looking at the position currently being held by Xizt. There we go. Finally realizes that the bomb is actually going down on the other side.
Xizt just looking like, he was still committed to that B angle.
I'm out.
And, now they lose Friberg. pyth couldn't trade things out. Smoke's going to go down and block off some vision, but it doesn't deal with the threat that is chrisJ tagging pyth with the scout. And I mean, while it is the little brother of the AWP, he's actually been able to do a great deal of damage, forcing the save out of NiP here. It's going to go 13-6. Mousesports looking relentless on their T side.
Yeah, the thing I'm wondering is, will NiP just risk it? It would be quite risky. They could drop a couple of FAMASes or something along those lines. They do get quite a decent loss bonus going off of this. Or they could just go for the UMPs and go for a hell of a lot of utility, but I wonder if it's actually worth going for, if they're just going to try and save into the next round, have a full buy and try and fight it back on the long haul.
The fact I accidentally called him pyth is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. But yeah, I mean, we are going to be seeing them trying to put the AWP up on
pyth. Mike Tyson
and
by saying peace.
I literally don't get the reference, so
because he has a lisp.
Oh, okay. Right, there we go. Okay, right.
pyth the cake.
Okay, no, that just went a little bit over my head. We're going to move on in. We have got Xizt as well on the M4. pyth pushing down. Oh, jeez, that was horribly wrong. Pushing down short, trying to find something. It's actually been Friberg first to engage, but Denis able to get away with it, like you say. Somehow survives on 2 HP. Get right playing up close in mid. The only player who could deny them some mid access as that smoke goes down. It's going to be very, very hard. pyth from short, able to stop chrisJ. Causing anything too fruitful out here. It's going to equalize out the numbers back into a 4-on-4 as well. Well, Mousesports, they have got some mid control. Still going to be given up by NiP just yet.
Yeah, getting a little bit closer. Nice spot from Get Right, but he's not looking in the right direction, expecting a flash to come through, and we'll go in and dry. NiKo will get himself another kill to give them the man advantage back. However, the rifle and the AWP still in play. Xizt will do the same thing, looking away from the flash, and NiKo's just pouncing in this round. Got his 3rd kill overall, and now Forest, well, he's been good with the P250, but he'd have to be absolutely insane, and unfortunately it's NiKo with the quad that brings them to 14-6. A buy. It is going to be in play now for the NiP side, but they're up against this wall. They may at least be safe, but the chance of them actually coming back and winning this are getting ever slimmer.
Mousesports 1 round away from reaching that all-important match point. That will, of course, save them from relegation.
Hey, the auto's back.
But behind the Xizt, bringing out the auto when stuff isn't going your way. What gun should you buy? The auto sniper. Firm believer of that is going to be Xizt, but it's actually Forest to find Spiidi first, dropping him over towards mid. And, you know, mid is something that Mousesports have really been emphasizing control over. Losing him so early on with no refrag in sight just yet does cause some complications here for Mouse, as it has slowed down their overall play. You can see they've kind of been pushed over towards long. But now, as they flash themselves in, they can make use of this short angle. So an A split looking like it could be on the cards here. A lot of it's going to come down to this duel with Friberg over towards long.
Yeah, and well, the secondary orb still on that A site itself, so a lot of scoped rifles currently in play. NiKo going through the smoke, but doesn't actually get caught out. Still looking to try and find something. A minute left on the clock, and the challenge, so long as you said, is likely to come in. Friberg should be good for at least one, and Denis is not going to check the angle until it's too late. Now the AWP is just trying to wait to see if he will actually cross back over, but it's going to be very, very difficult at this point to actually get out and take him down, especially with pyth actually holding the angle. Now, we look towards these remaining two players. 35 seconds, the bomb is dropped over towards long, and, well, this is looking horrific at this point.
NiKo and loWel, last two left alive, the two you'd want in this situation. Friberg does spot out NiKo. loWel just around the corner, watches his teammate die in cold blood, and is, of course, just harrowed by the experience. Has to start falling on back. And well, now he's trying to hold over here by the box. Kind of lost for words. He just witnessed his best friend die in front of him. But he's still ready, raring to go, wants revenge, and that's what he's going to get. Friberg running into the gun of loWel that loses his head, literally and figuratively. And now it's loWel versus 4. Can't do much out of this apart from save the AK. Just trying to hold this angle, make sure NiP can't push and get that trade, take the AK off of him. It's going to go 14-7 as NiP, they finally find themselves around on their CT side.
Of course, Mousesports, I don't think they're going to be struggling too hard to get a buyback on the board. Plenty of cash, plenty of rounds. And now we need to see a continuation of the previous coming out from the Ninjas. They will get themselves one, but if they lose the next, the likelihood is that the game will be coming to an end. Both teams will be safe, but more importantly, it will be Dig getting their qualification spot. Well, now even I'm fumbling my words as well. Either way, it will be a buy for both teams, and we're just looking over towards this T side at the moment, just playing a fairly standard sort of hold, taking as much map control as possible. And NiKo, well, this is the man to watch at the moment. He's had some pretty big rounds. I think loWel is probably still up there with him. And chrisJ on that AWP versus Forest, pyth, and Xizt actually. Although yeah, he's not on the orb.
He's got a lot to contend with, as that we can see the scoped rifles in abundance for the side of NiP, and they have been putting them to good use. Smoke down over towards long just to delay this push that much more. Mousesports, they have got mid control, but it is being slowly challenged here by Forest and Get Right. And while he pushes on through, has made his way out in towards mid. Might be able to find one on a NiKo here as he does just spot him jumping up on top of the box. NiKo fumbles the jump and it actually saves his life. loWel finds that frag on a Get Right. They take the man advantage. It's a good start here for Mouse. They grab mid control, no one there to contest them. As a result, they can split out on towards A, and this has worked for them almost time and time again. Molotov down short to deny it. 30 seconds left. They have to make the play sooner rather than later. It's all going to come down to can they get past pyth and Friberg. Friberg holding long. pyth with the op trying to watch short. pyth, I don't know where you're looking right now. Probably should just pick somewhere instead of Friberg. I know he's beautiful, but stop staring at him. And, well, pyth going to be paying the price as Spiidi does find him. Friberg to try and equalize out the numbers best he can. Doing good damage. Going to be able to pick up 2 frags. Turns it into a 2-on-3, and all he has to do is deny the plant, and he knows it. He's going to try pushing through the smoke, but he's not going to be able to do it in time. Molotov goes out from Xizt, but it doesn't stop the plant. This could be it right now for NiP. It's all on Xizt. 1 versus 3. I mean, it's really not looking good.
Yeah, now we wait just to see if Xizt can actually do anything going into what could be the penultimate round. There's not really too much I'm expecting NiP to be able to do. Even the buy could be a little bit sketchy. It looks like he is going to try and challenge this one with the auto. Not the ideal weapon for the retake. And, well, Denis is going to be there to finish things off. 15-7. NiP, well, this is looking horrible. Maybe even saving the auto could have been something to play with going into what looks like the final round. And they're pretty much going to have to do exactly what Mousesports managed to do to them going into that last map. Either way, Chris. Not going to be able to take the shot, so they'll at least keep their HP for now. But it is just going to be a very difficult scenario for the Ninjas.
Yeah, backs against the wall and fighting for their chance to make it through into the LAN finals. It's going to be tricky, especially on this bite. 2 scouts in play, Friberg and pyth. They've also got a few UMPs and a P250, but that's really it. When you look at the buy on Mouse, they've got so much utility, and the AWP on chrisJ. It's going to be a tricky uphill battle, nearly vertical for NiP here. As we can see, Mousesports this time changing things up. They make their way over towards B, Bomb slowly but surely heading over towards there. NiKo and Denis, the 2 players tasked with taking mid, as it's going to be a B split.
Yeah, 2 players currently on the B side. One boosted up. They're in a little bit of a crossfire at the moment. In terms of mid control, there's very, very little, and well, this is going to be very difficult to hold off. They need to rotate very, very quickly, otherwise this boost is going to be completely worthless. The bush comes out, however, and they haven't checked it. Forest will get one. It's just going to be a quick couple of trades, but loWel is there looking to shut this out where it stands. They want to stay in the ECS league, and it's looking like they're about to do so. 1 man left, however. He's made a clutch already. He's got to do one better. A 1v2 previously. It's a 1v3 for Get Right.
He's on the UMP. He has only a singular flash to his name. And, well...
He's got no head.
Yeah, it's not going to make a difference when you are 6 feet under. NiP, they won't be going through to the LAN finals. Mouse won't be getting relegated. There's a lot that has come out of this.
Oh, VP will.
Yeah,
I think that's the crazier thing.
But of course, yeah, I mean, there is... we can have a look at that all... in a minute once we get that leaderboard up. But overall, a very nice performance from Mouse. They turned it around and almost looked like a different team there in comparison to what we saw on Train.
Yeah, no, so still big start coming out from loWel. He was one of the players who continued his form, NiKo as well, but we just saw everybody come up. It was a very consistent sort of Mousesports throughout the game. It wasn't like we just saw one player going like before or 2 players. It was like everybody had their moments. chrisJ with the AWP, I think Denis over towards mid as well. So a great performance on Dust 2, and clearly maybe just need a little bit of work over on Train and just practicing the map, because that looked like a much more well-rounded performance. Either way, we can bring up the leaderboard, and as we previously said, well, if we bring it up now, it is going to be Dignitas, actually, I think, getting that qualification spot. I just want it confirmed because I don't have all of the round difference in front of me. But yeah, very well played for Dignitas today, sitting at home, chilling, and they get that sort of point of, okay, well, we did our work and now somebody else has kept us in it. Like,
yeah, well, they just reaped the benefits of playing well earlier on. And, you know, when we look at it, what can we see as a result of this? Well, VP and Fnatic, they will be getting relegated. And four finalists will be heading through.
The round difference between G2 and Dignitas was 7. That's the
7.
So literally around
G2 must be kicking themselves
in 18 maps as well. Think of that. That's like what an extra round every 2 maps or something ridiculous. That's absolutely crazy. Obviously, we've got our 4 qualification spots from the EU and from NA now confirmed. So it does mean that the LAN up and coming. You better be getting those tickets ready.
Yeah, of course, all the teams that have qualified now. The full list that we can give you Optic, Cloud9, SK, Immortals, Astralis, Envious, FaZe, and Dignitas. There we go, the full list. And of course, you can see them all at the LAN finals in Anaheim on the 9th till 11th. Tickets are on sale now for the 10th and 11th. Yeah, no, it is very soon. And of course, if you are a student, you can grab one of the limited free tickets. Details are on the website at anaheim.csgoleague.com. And there's lots more information on there about stuff you can do while you're out there. So it is very, very decent indeed. And, you know, the free tickets for students is a very cool thing indeed. But they are limited, so be sure to grab them sooner rather than later. Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I mean, there we go. That is it, I believe, for all this. What we have got is there'll be one final matchmaking episode for everyone showing after this, the last in this series. The map making, not matchmaking.
Yeah, you can watch that if you like.
You can if you really wanted to. And then we've also got all the episodes of James versus Dan being shown for your viewing pleasure because they've been amazing. But other than that, that is it from us at ECS. So I think that's it. Are you sad, Tom? I'm pretty sad.
A little bit, yeah.
But I mean, we've got the finals to watch now.
Yeah, so we're handing over to the Mac Daddies, of course. James and Dan will be there at the LAN. I'm not sure if they've revealed anybody else who will be there yet, so I'm not going to spew that information out. But of course, definitely looking forward to watching that one. I think you've got all the top teams from NA for sure, and quite an interesting lineup. I think FaZe getting through, definitely showing how they've stepped up. I think that's important for them. Yep. Astralis finishing top in the the groups is something they do quite often. We'll see if they can continue it on LAN now that they've got Glaive as their savior. Definitely going to be some interesting matches. Envy getting through top of this league. Like, this is a hugely challenging league. Like, you've got to remember, Na'Vi aren't even in the league.
Yeah.
That's how challenging this European side of things really is. So definitely looking forward to the LAN finals. And, well, I guess it's time for you to do your outro.
That's it. Yeah, and I mean, that's it from me, Rick Astley, and Budget Moses is also
or just NA hair, UK hair.
Gonna be
just name them.
That's it from us and everyone else here at ECS and FACEIT. We hope you have enjoyed the EU and NA coverage that we've had so far. But yeah, that is it from us. And
see
have
you
a
in
good
season
night.
3.
Yeah.
This time.